Now, news that works for you. This is WGXA News.
Good evening, and thank you for watching WGXA News at 10. I'm Raymond Tubb, and tonight we're following new breaking developments in the Belgium attacks. Amir Makeupson joins us now with our top story. Amir.
We were fearing terrorist attacks, and that has now happened.
There was an explosion.
People being taken away on stretchers.
I saw people dead, and it looked like war.
It does look like retaliation.
Federal prosecutor says the two men in black were responsible.
A number of U.S. citizens were injured in the attacks.
Officials are looking for the man in white.
This is yet another reminder that the world must unite.
It is a real time of heartbreak and worry for those in the Belgian capital.
The death toll is rising in Brussels tonight. Bombers target an airport and a subway station. 34 people are dead, 190 hurt. ISIS claims responsibility. It's believed two suicide bombers struck. Investigators conducting police raids around the country as they continue searching for a third person right now.
Inside a crowded airport, an explosion sends people running for their lives. The terminal fills with smoke. Terrified passengers drop to the floor and huddle together.
I can't explain. It looked like war. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's really hard.
Minutes later, a second blast inside the airport.
I saw many injuries. I saw people dead. I saw everything broken. It's just terrible.
Prosecutors say these three men may have contributed to one of the worst terror attacks in Europe. Right now, there's a massive manhunt for this man in the white jacket. Police say he left the Brussels airport shortly before the attacks. Investigators believe the two men in black were suicide bombers. The black gloves on their left hands may have concealed the detonators. During a raid at a house connected to the men, investigators found a nail bomb, chemical product, and an ISIS flag. The terror group claimed responsibility for the airport attacks and a similar explosion at a metro station. The metro station is a short distance from where police captured Salah Abdeslam last week. He's one of the suspected ringleaders in the Paris attacks last November. Now, police are searching for anyone who might be involved, as the people of Brussels mourn the lives lost.
Right now, Homeland Security says there is no threat against the United States. Out of precaution, the department is stepping up security at major U.S. airports and transit stations around the country. Belgium is one of 38 countries whose citizens generally do not need a visa to visit the U.S. We want to know what you think. Do you think terror attacks in the U.S. are imminent? Go to our Facebook page, WGXA.tv, or follow us on Twitter at WGXA News and tell us why. Attacks like what happened in Brussels can happen anywhere at any time, and the Macon-Bibb County Sheriff's Department Bomb Squad is ready. Today we caught up with Bomb Squad Commander Lieutenant Billy Skidder, and he says because of terrorist attacks across the world, the squad is training differently here at home. He says they study attacks like 9/11 and in Brussels so that they can learn new ways to prepare for something similar. Because the bomb squad can't be everywhere at any given time, Lieutenant Skinner says some tips for you on how you can take control of your safety.
Be aware of your surroundings. A lot of times when you hear something, our natural curiosity is to perhaps go toward the sound that's causing the concern. But a lot of times, we should be heading in the other direction.
Although Middle Georgia is not currently on high alert for terrorist activities, surrounding areas like Atlanta could be a target. And if that happens, the bomb squad will be ready to help out. During terrorist attacks or major national and global events, the stock market and local economy can be affected. Dr. Antonia Shavara, the assistant economics professor at Mercer University, says the change in economy depends on the magnitude of the attack or the event. On September 11th, the stock market crashed immediately. Today in both Europe and the U.S., both markets started low and ended on the positive side. The daily operations and even weekly operations are typically driven by emotions. Dr. Sharavia says the attack in Brussels was not that big in magnitude and may have even been expected to some extent. So here locally, we may not have noticed it on the market.
I will have a difficult time coming up with more than
10 names to give you of companies that headquartered in Georgia that have operations in Belgium. So, short story, this is not going to have a big effect on the local economy.
Dr. Shravia says that you can protect yourself by not doing anything. Don't sell in events like today. After a day or 2 days a week, stock prices will return where they are or could be even better.
Well, tonight we're answering the question of why Brussels and why Belgium. Chief political correspondent Scott Thuman recently traveled there. He explains the staggering number of terror suspects in that tiny country and how that problem concerns us.
What happened in Brussels, while devastating, some say is not entirely a surprise. Belgium has long been a melting pot in danger of boiling over. And while U.S. leaders frantically worked the phones Tuesday trying to assess the situation, neighborhood leaders recently told us the problem began due to a major disconnect with the city's youth.
They live somewhere in an emptiness. Their life is something empty. They know there is not really a future for them.
Johan Lehman says the highly diversified region and subsequent unemployment crisis in his neighborhood has been mismanaged, contributing to radicalization.
And when there were some symbols or some emblems of what might happen, the reaction was a poor reaction.
Also demonstrated by the Paris attacks, as many of the suspects were from Brussels. The city's deputy mayor told me there are 110 different nationalities in the most concerning neighborhood of Molenbeek. He says 50% of the population is foreign-born. That's a reality, he says. Brussels, the capital of Europe, discriminates enormously in the labor market, adding, "We cannot stop this plague which stigmatizes people of foreign origin." As disenchanted youth, he claims, they are easily recruited by terror cells. As for why it happened here, Brussels is seen as the heart of the continent, a major travel hub, and home to such high-profile targets as NATO and the European Union. And, of course, it's easier to attack an area where the suspects already live. And experts say, per capita, Belgium has more foreign fighters and jihadists than anywhere else in Europe. In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
Well, the attack in Brussels is one of hundreds of strikes carried out by terrorists just in the last year. Many go largely unnoticed, but the ones that we remember don't easily fade. Tonight, we're working for you to break down the timeline of terror attacks since March of 2015. Militants in the Tunisian capital of Tunis killed 22 tourists at the Bardo National Museum on March 18th of 2015. On May 3rd, 2 men with the sympathy for the terrorist groups were killed outside of a Muhammad cartoon contest in Garland, Texas. A gunman in Chattanooga, Tennessee, motivated by what the FBI called terrorist propaganda, killed 5 people on July 16th. Georgia native Lance Corporal Skip Wells died during that attack. On November 4th, police killed a student at Merced University in California, but not before he stabbed 4 people. The FBI says terrorist propaganda motivated that attacker. ISIS claims responsibility for bringing down a Russian airliner in Egypt on October 31st, 2015, killing all 224 people on board. On November 13th, a number of coordinated terrorist attacks in Paris left 130 people dead. On December 16th, 2 terrorists in San Bernardino, California, killed 14 people at a government building. Windsor Academy graduate Shannon Johnson died during those attacks while saving a woman's life. And on January 15th, 2016, a group of terrorists with ties to al-Qaeda killed 30 people at the Splendid Hotel in Burkina Faso. And today, March 22nd, ISIS says it's behind a terror attack that killed 34 people in Belgium. Now, if you want to follow our worldwide terror tracking map, you can head over to WGXA.tv and we will link you.
Turning things over to weather now, literally a freezing start to this morning. It was 32 degrees here in Macon.
Chief Meteorologist Jeff Cox is live in Storm Track Central. And Jeff, are we finally done with the cold weather?
You know, I think the real cold stuff, I think we're probably trending towards this being the last freeze of the season. A little cool tonight, but not as cold as last night, guys. Time now 10:09. That's Raymond.
Well, Wilcox County father rushes to an area basketball court after his son is shot. Next on WGXA News at 10. He describes the scene and find out how he is now asking, or what he's asking of you at home.
Plus, new details in the case of a Macon man hit and killed by a train today. We'll tell you what investigators now say they think happened. But first, Luke Hetrick joins us in studio with a look at what we have ahead in sports. Luke.
Hey, Amir, well, Mercer was stunned last month at home to Georgia. Now the Bears trying to return the favor on the road in Athens. I'll have highlights coming up later in sports.
said he had been shot, and I got there, and I just seen blood everywhere.
A Wilcox County father describes arriving at the scene of a shooting that injured his son. Tonight, he is only speaking to WGXA's Eric Mock.
Eric joins us now live in studio with this exclusive interview. And what did this dad tell you, Eric?
Well, Sam Porter tells me that someone shot his son 4 times Sunday night during a basketball game in Pineview. His son is alive, but doctors say he may never walk again. Tonight, he asks for your prayers. Sunday night, an argument broke out on a basketball court in Pineview. Then somebody brought out a gun and shot Samuel Porter's son.
We was at home on a Sunday dinner, and we got a phone call, and they said that my son had been shot. So I get there, and he's laying on the ground at the park in Pineview.
Wilcox County deputies say a man got a handgun out of his car and shot 25-year-old Thaddeus Breon Porter and 23-year-old Jamal Holmes. Bullets hit Porter's son Breon in the mouth, back, and side.
In the mouth. It came in the jaw. It came in right here and came out through the back of his neck.
Deputies arrested 19-year-old Quintarius Tisdall shortly after the shooting. Wilcox County Sheriff's investigator Steve Malden says they have warrants out for other suspects. Malden says these violent crimes are rare for the Pineview area.
Everybody up there is kind of related and gets along pretty well, you know. These young people to get up there and get to playing ball, we've never had any problem with them. This is the first time.
Porter's son remains at the medical center Navicent Health. Doctors say he may be paralyzed, but Porter's grateful he's alive.
But he's been shot 4 or 5 times, and he's still here. So somebody's prayers are reaching him. So you got to go with your faith now, because it's out of your hands.
Porter says some of his friends wanted to get revenge for the pain his son is going through, but he says violence will only hurt more families.
We just need to come together, you know, because if not, it's just going to get worse.
Porter says parents can help stop the violence by getting involved in their child's life.
Some of them think that when they get out of high school, they're grown, but we still have a job to do to just talk.
Porter says he has faith that his son will one day walk and play basketball again. Now, investigator Malden tells me they're still searching for suspects. If you have any information about the case, you can call the Wilcox County Sheriff's Office at 229-467-2322. Reporting live in studio, Eric Mock, News That Works for You.
Eric, thanks. I-16 is reopened tonight after a 3-car accident. A BMW was coming off of I-75 South and onto I-16 East this afternoon and was getting over to exit on Spring Street. The BMW ran into the back of a 2008 Saturn and pushed into a Jeep Cherokee. Minor injuries were reported. No one went to the hospital. The accident took about 35 minutes to clear.
New details tonight after a train hit and killed a man. Bibb County Coroner Leon Jones telling us that 45-year-old Ronnie Morris of Griffin, Georgia, was hit and killed at the Arkwright Road crossing. This is what it looked like when our WGXA crews got there. Lieutenant Randy Gonzalez with the Bibb County Sheriff's Office says that the man on the train was on the train tracks and not inside of a vehicle and was hit by several train cars. Investigators have not ruled whether it was a suicide or an accident yet. Well, it's normal for kids to play on the street, but when cars are speeding, that's when neighbors become scared the child might get hurt.
New at 10, WGXA's Brittany Collins went to Marshall Circle in Perry, where several kids play. She joins us now live in studio. And Brittany, how will the cities make the streets safer?
Well, in a week, Perry police say that the drivers on Marshall Circle will be reminded to watch out for children on Marshall Circle. Changes follow complaints from neighbors and action from City Council to better control traffic.
40 minutes of recess at school isn't enough for some kids. Around 4 o'clock every afternoon on Marshall Circle, imaginations come to life. I am jumping. And kids are full of energy.
You know, like the commercial, play an hour a day or play a couple of hours a day. It's okay for kids to come outside and play.
Children miss some shots, but with determination and focus, there's hope for the ball to go through the hoop. There are basketball goals over here and over there, but families say with no park nearby, their only option is to play hoops in the street.
I've been staying here for a while, and it's been there. So, like, you know, long as no kids get hurt.
Police want to prevent that from happening.
Patrol that area more heavily with patrol officers to make sure that we don't have speeders and anything like that going through the neighborhood.
Heavy traffic comes through Marshall Circle both ways when school is let out.
The best thing to do is just put a dead end to keep people from going down there at all.
Under a city-approved plan, more speed limit signs and another watch out for children sign will go out to remind drivers to watch out for kids.
It's actually dangerous when cars coming because your kids might get run over.
For times when traffic becomes too crazy, there's always a backyard.
I am Batman.
Some parents say they feel safe having their children play in the roadway.
This is a nice neighborhood, kid-friendly and everything.
But making it child-friendly will make some neighbors feel better.
The Patrol Division will continue to monitor the street to ensure that the basketball goals are not placed in the street. Reporting live in the studio, Brittany Collins, news that works for you.
Well, right now we want you to be on the lookout for a man that's trying to get inside of your home. According to the Bibb County Sheriff's Office, a man knocking on doors in the North Beechwood Drive area told homeowners that he needed to inspect their alarm panels and controls. He left before deputies could find him. If this happens, you need to call the Bibb County Sheriff's Office at 751-7500.
A man who says he planned to get revenge on his ex-girlfriend is now recovering in the hospital after being shot. Bibb Sheriff deputies say 34-year-old Blake Herman was shot in the leg after he allegedly tried to break into a home where his ex-girlfriend lives yesterday afternoon. When deputies got to the house, they found a resident of the home holding Herman down on the ground with a gun. The resident told deputies he shot Herman after he reached for his pocket, thinking he was reaching for a gun. Right now, he is in stable condition at the medical center. Once he's released from the hospital, he'll be moved to the Bibb County LEC.
Well, new tonight, Bibb County deputies say that they caught a man suspected of pulling a gun and stealing from a Walmart on Harrison Road. Deputies and U.S. Marshals say Felician Grable surrendered around 11:30 this morning in Houston County. Investigators say when loss prevention officers took him out of the store back on January 4th, he held a gun at him and then ran away. Grable is charged with aggravated assault with a firearm, shoplifting, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Well, 4 people charged tonight in multiple thefts and burglaries in Dodge County. According to our coverage partners at the Eastman Examiner, Dodge County deputies arrested these suspects: Trayvon Bradley, Leslie Bradley, Paul Henley, and Evelitza Colon of Eastman. Investigators say they found several items connected to recent break-ins on Hawkinsville Highway and Eastman back on March 18th.
Right now, family members continue searching for a missing man. This is Patrick Harbin. The McRae Helena Police Department says that no one has seen or heard from him in several days. If you have any information, call the police department at the number on your screen, 229-868-2093.
Well, the political world is responding to the terror attack in Brussels. Just ahead, why one presidential candidate's comments have come under fire.
But first, Chief Meteorologist Jeff Cox joins us from Storm Track Central. And Jeff, it warmed up a little bit today, and that trend seems to be continuing for the rest of the week.
Yeah, certainly. I think the real cold stuff, we're getting rid of it. We're turning our attention in the Weather Center now to the threat of severe weather. In fact, I've got new data that shows a pretty potent line of storms later this week. So that's something we're watching closely. The question is, when do they get here, and what do we expect from them? I'll have the timing straight ahead. Stay tuned.